Going to be a lot of trash talk already between Cowboys and Texans fans. I'm not going Cowboys, just all those Cowboys and Texans fans out there. That's all I'm saying.
There we go. Like you said, it's a huge weekend, Cowboys versus Texans. And in my mind, for Cowboys fans, it's kind of a good news, bad news situation. Good news, Cowboys get to face up against another good team, 3-1, top of their division. Bad news, anytime Cowboys fans watch the Texans defense, they see their best player, they think they could have got him. That's right. The man whose job it is to chase Tony Romo around on Sunday could have been a Cowboy. Watt was available when the boys picked 9th overall in 2011 draft. Dallas opted to strengthen that offensive line with tackle Tyron Smith instead. Watt went 2 spots later to Houston. Good picks for both teams, but Watt is getting mentioned as a possible MVP candidate for this year, and for good reason.
He's a big, strong, physical, explosive guy. He's got great instincts for the game, great feel for the game. He's got a motor that never stops, and you know, he just shows up.
He may be the best player we go against all season, so you have to make sure he doesn't really make a difference-making play that changes the outcome of the game.
Today, the NFL named Watt its AFC Defensive Player of the Month. Cowboys running back DeMarco Murray is the NFC Offensive Player of the Month of September. The game kicks off Sunday at noon in Arlington. Now, not all the Cowboys talk has been about the game on Sunday. C.J. Spielman is a hot topic surrounding the Dallas Cowboys for negative reasons. The backup safety is involved in a sexual assault allegation. No charges, no arrest. The incident reportedly took place at a Dallas area hotel in the early hours of September 20th. That was just hours before the team boarded and flew to St. Louis to play the Rams. Now, I'll say it again, no charges, no arrest. So the question is, should Spielman be allowed to practice this week and play on Sunday? Head coach Jason Garrett seems to think so. Earlier today, he allowed Spielman to practice because, quote, I think you have to be careful with accusations and allegations in this situation. When someone is officially charged or arrested for something, that's when it becomes a different situation in our mind. Garrett said he's made his team very aware of the consequences if a player is charged with a crime. Now, Cowboys-Texans isn't the only big matchup in the state this weekend. The University of Texas will take on Baylor in the college ranks. Baylor has won 3 of the last 4 matchups and has a clear advantage this week in Austin. Except some Longhorn players don't see it that way. Despite the wins, the high ranking, UT receiver John Harris says Baylor, well, they're still just Baylor. Ouch. Baylor head coach Art Briles, he took the high road on this one.
You know, very well coached, fundamentally sound, you know, play at a high level and play with a lot of confidence, you know, so that's something that we've always seen from Texas, and Coach Strong and his staff have done a great job of, you know, keeping that tradition alive and, you know, maybe even expanding on it. So they're, you know, they're going to be, you know, a really tough opponent without any question.
As for Baylor just being Baylor, the Bears open this game as a 15-point favorite. Kickoff is Saturday at 2:30. And hey, it's preseason trip time for the Spurs, which means the games, they don't count, but the trip sure does. In fact, the next 2 weeks will be key to a possible Spurs repeat. The Spurs fly off to Europe tomorrow for 12 days of team bonding and a couple of exhibition games in Germany and Turkey. Last year, the team used camp at the Air Force Academy to reconnect and re-energize after losing to the Heat in the finals. Same thing this year, even after a win.
I expect to play against a good team. You know, I've played over there before. I know how competitive they are. We can't take them lightly. Got to respect them. But I think it'll be a fun trip and a good experience for most of these guys, and, you know, some good team bonding.
News 4 is making the trip to Europe with the Spurs. CR reports from Berlin starting Saturday night at 10 o'clock. The Spurs play in Germany on October 8th and in Turkey on October 11th. Now to high school football, Highlands taking on the Lanier Vokes out at Alamo Stadium tonight. The Owls get the scoring started early as Quindon Boston takes this one in for a 5-yard touchdown to put the Owls up 7-0. And then later in the first, check out Boston's next touchdown run. He takes this one in from 27 yards out, juking people and showing off some speed on his way to 6 points. But wouldn't you know, the Vokes actually came back to shut Highlands out in the second half and won this one 28-24. So that comeback win was just the beginning of a great week of high school football. Don't let the people forget about Fever. We have it tomorrow. Yes. We'll be covering over 60 area schools and some huge, huge games going on tomorrow night.
It's definitely going to be football weather tomorrow night.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back.